Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. So in today's video I'm doing something a little bit different and something that I haven't done before, and I'm so excited to share it. So Havana Sims and a few other simmers and myself obviously, I've decided to do a collaboration, and it was actually all of Havana Sims' idea. She messaged me on Twitter about a month ago or something like that, so it's been in the works for quite some time. And basically we all had to renovate the Blue Velvet nightclub, which is the nightclub in Willow Creek, and it comes with base game, and so it's not the nicest looking lot, but it came when we first got the Sims and there was no other pack, so I mean you kind of got to give it that. So we all came together and Havana said that we all need to renovate it, but we do actually have some rules, and I was really excited when we got some rules because I like having them kind of restrictions and see what I can do with it. And so a few of the rules are that you can't actually change the shape of the build. So the Blue Velvet nightclub is basically like a square, and then it's got like a rectangle off it, and you're not allowed to change the shape of the build. You can't make it smaller. However, you can make it bigger, and that is because there were some green columns on the upstairs balcony and actually on the porch below as well. You can extend them walls out to where the columns were, but that was it. You can't like add little bulk out bits on the side and all that kind of stuff. You have to kind of keep it how it looks. And so that was the number one rule. And then the second rule is that you can change the windows and the doors if you would like to, and obviously I deleted them green shutter windows because they're cute for a house, not really a nightclub kind of thing. So you can change the doors and windows. Another rule was that you can actually keep the fireplace in the build. Well, you have to keep the fireplace in the build, but you actually can move it. So as you walk into the Blue Velvet nightclub, on the left hand side there is a fireplace, which it's a bit strange having a fireplace in a nightclub, but whatever. You have to keep that fireplace in the build, and I decided that I wanted it to still be like a main piece, but I just didn't want it where it was. And so I messaged Havana and she informed me that I could move it because the place where it was originally put when the lot was made, it's in like the biggest open area where I wanted it to be like a dance floor and like the kind of DJ booth. And so yeah, so you can move the fireplace, so I definitely did that because I wanted that extra room. And another rule is that you can add a office on the second floor, and so that was obviously one of the requirements. It has to have an office on the second floor, which I never would have thought of, but I actually really like the idea. And so yeah, and that was it. I mean, there was a few game packs and stuff packs that we couldn't use, which were Vampires, Jungle Adventure, My First Pet stuff, fitness stuff, and kids room stuff. And apart from that, you basically had free reign to just do whatever you want. So yeah, this is how my build turned out. I'll have everyone else's channel links in the description box below, so you can go and watch their videos. And it's actually a voting system, and so there will be a chance to vote for you who's your favourite build is. I think it might be on a Google Doc sheet, but I'm not completely sure. But I'll have it linked in the description down below, so you can go and watch everyone else's channel and show them some love, and then vote for who you think's turned out the best. So yeah, but anyway, getting into the build, as you can see, I've kind of figured out how I want it to look. With all the restrictions, it was quite difficult because I couldn't do exactly what I wanted, but like I said, I did actually like it. Like, it was a challenge, but I kind of like challenges, so I was down for it. And I used quite a lot of Spa Day windows in this build. Spa Day and Get Famous windows. Get Famous windows are the ones on the second floor, and they're the ones that I kind of wanted to make look like one big window. I just thought it was a really cool effect, so I definitely wanted to do that. And I actually added a skylight in this build as well. So the skylight looks from this like roof / ceiling thing, and it looks all the way down to the ground floor onto the dance floor, so your Sims can be dancing and doing whatever, and they can look up, and it's just a really nice skylight. And I really wanted to add a skylight in this build, especially for a nightclub build. I just think it's so cool. And I didn't add as many windows as I would in a normal build, and that's purely because it's a nightclub. I didn't want loads and loads of windows because it's not very realistic. In my experience from nightclubs, they don't have that many windows. They have maybe a few at the front, but not that many inside, and so I knew that it was going to be a pain when I come to furnish it, so that's why I didn't actually put that many windows in it. But I feel like with the skylight, it gives you that extra light that comes into the build, and so I think a skylight was a really good decision. But anyway, now moving on, I am actually doing the back garden, and so this lot does come with a garden, and I wasn't sure if I could modify the fences. I don't know if I could make it bigger or smaller, and throughout the whole time I was building this, I was messaging Havana, and I didn't want to be really annoying, so I kind of asked her a few questions, and then I didn't want to be that one person that asked all the questions, and bless her, she answered every single one of them, but I thought I'd give her a little bit of a break. So I decided just not to extend the fences, but I did replace the fences with, I think it's Perfect Patio. I think it's a Perfect Patio fence, and I really like that fence. It's actually a really nice modern fence, and it's the same kind of height as the previous fence, but I just prefer that one instead of the one that was already there. But anyway, I did actually add a kind of like a balcony slash, I don't know what it's called, like a, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but basically there is stairs on this lot which comes from the top balcony down onto the bottom floor, like the ground floor, and then you can kind of walk in there. There is a name for it, I think, but I can't think what it's called. But I did add that just because I wanted your Sims to be able to get around the whole build very freely, and I just thought it was really nice just having some industrial kind of staircase in the back garden. But now I'm just doing this little seating area, and I absolutely love them lights from, I think it's Toddler Stuff. I use them all the time. I use them a lot in my, I think it was my restaurant build that I used them. Like, I kind of found my love for them, and now I just use them all the time. And I really like the back garden because it's blacks, greys and yellows and green, like greenery, and I just think it's a really nice mix, and I just absolutely love that little seating area. And I wanted to add the ivy from Jungle Adventure, but because we wasn't using this pack, I just used the ivy from Romantic Garden Stuff, and I think it kind of gives the same effect which I wanted, and I just absolutely love this. And I did actually want to add a hot tub out the back, but like I said, I didn't know if I could extend the fence, and so I didn't want to break the rules, so I just opted with another sofa around the side of the nightclub. But now I'm moving on and doing the interior, and I went straight in and deleted everything because I didn't want to keep any of it. I know that sounds terrible, but it's just not my kind of style. It's not really what I wanted. And I added the staircase from Get Famous, and I really like this staircase. I haven't used it that much. I think I might have used it once, maybe. I'm not sure if I did it in a build video or not, but I actually really like it, and it's literally the perfect staircase for a nightclub. Maybe that's why they did it, because it, like, Get Famous came with nightclubs and stuff. I'm not sure. But anyway, now I'm just doing the bathrooms, and I use the Spa Day wallpaper, and I really like this wallpaper, but I never use it in this swatch. I always use it in the black and white swatch. And today I used it in the white and grey swatch, and I just absolutely love it. I think I'm going to use it some more just because it's just a really nice wallpaper, and I had to use the Spa Day floor because that Spa Day floor tile is just my absolute favourite. I use it literally in every single build just because it's just a nice basic floor tile. I mean, you haven't really got many of them in the game, so I just absolutely love that tile. But anyway, I'm just cluttering up the bathrooms. I did do both of them the exact same. I literally duplicated the room and just flipped it, so they're both the exact same bathroom, so I didn't feel the need to show both of them because it would just be like watching the same thing twice. But now I'm just doing the wallpapering, and I wasn't really sure what kind of wallpaper I wanted to go for because a lot of nightclubs have black wallpaper in the inside, but I had black wallpaper on the outside and I had black windows, and I just didn't want it to be very dark. And so I decided to use this one from, I think it's Bowling Night. I'm never sure what that pack is called, but from the bowling, I think it's a stuff pack. That pack, this wallpaper that came with it, I absolutely love it, and I never ever use it in this swatch, and I don't know why, because it is the nicest swatch. It's this really nice light blue, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I do actually use blue paneling quite a lot, but I never tend to use this blue paneling. I always use the one from Spa Day, And so again, I think I'm going to be using it a lot. With this build, I kind of experimented with a load of things I haven't really experienced before and experimented with, and so doing this build I had a lot of fun. But now you can see that I'm just moving on, and this is kind of where the dance area is going to be. So this was the big space where the fireplace was, and you can see I just moved it over to the side, and I do actually end up moving it upstairs just because I think it sits better at the top of the stairs, and I kind of create this little waiting area, and it's just outside the toilet, so maybe if your Sims friends go to the toilet and they want to wait for them or something like that, I mean, it's whatever. But that's just kind of what I thought. I mean, your Sims don't really go and wait outside the toilet for their friends like you would in real life, but whatever. Anyway, now I'm just moving on, and I'm doing these, I don't know what they're called, the dividers, that's what I was about to call them, sliders. These dividers, they came with Get Famous, and we got some with City Living as well, and I decided to use the Get Famous ones because I prefer the look of the Get Famous ones. They're just a little bit nicer for me, and I didn't want this back wall where the DJ booth was to be completely plain. I wanted to make it a kind of feature wall, but I didn't want to have loads of paintings and loads of different wall decorations. I wanted to make it sleek and cool. So I did something which I've never done before, and I actually really like the effect that it gives. It's got a really cool illusion to it. I use the same swatch of the wallpaper but just in the white swatch, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite parts of the build just because it's something different, it's something that I've never done before, and I just really enjoy doing that. But as you can see, obviously I put the DJ booth in, and I put them lights what came with Get Famous. No, they didn't. They came with Get Together, and I never really used them lights, and they're kind of the perfect lights for a nightclub. I think that they're already in a nightclub in Windenburg, and I've seen them, and I just never really tend to think about using them. But to be fair, I never really build nightclubs. This was my first nightclub video which I've recorded. I did one when The Sims 4 was just released, but I never recorded it, and I don't even think it's in the gallery. And so I don't really tend to build nightclubs, so to be fair, I don't really tend to reach for them lights, but yeah. Anyway, now I'm just moving on and doing this little seating area, and I was originally going to use these sofas from City Living, but I don't know, I wasn't feeling it because I've used them before in builds, and I always think that they're like the perfect nightclub sofa because they're quite realistic to the ones that you would find in a nightclub. But I don't know. And sorry if you just heard me bang on my radiator, I didn't mean to. When I talk, I speak with my hands quite a lot, and I didn't realise my radiator is right next to my hand, so I just bumped my radiator. I hope that you didn't, sorry. But yeah, and so I actually replaced them sofas with the ones from Get Famous. There's so many Get packs, it's so confusing. But I replaced them ones with the ones from Get Famous, and I think they just look so much better. I will use the taller ones, but I just don't think for this build. I think for this build, the Get Famous ones did just look better. But now I'm moving on and doing the bar area. So I basically did the bar area in the exact same spot that it was originally in this lot, but I did obviously change it quite a bit. So I used I think it's a Get Famous, or I'm not sure where that bar is actually from, but it's actually a really nice bar, and I don't think I've used it that often. And I really like the purple swatch and the way that the purple and the blue kind of mix together with the white chairs and the black details on the chairs. I just absolutely love this little section of the build. It's so just nice. It's just a nice little section. But I did basically keep it the same from the original just because I didn't really know where else to put the bar, and I could have put one outside. I was debating putting a bar outside, but the thing is with bartenders, they always tend just to go to one bar. So if there's two bars in the lot, they could just go to the one, or they will just go to the one, and they could not go to the one in the inside. So I decided not to add another bar and just have the single bar now. And now I'm just putting in some little bottles, and I did actually use, I think it's from Get Together, and it's like a shelving kind of unit, and it's more of like a collegey kind of vibe, but I think it works, and it's just got loads of bottles, and I wanted to use that, but I also wanted to use the standard wall decoration of bottles which came with base game, and so that's why I decided to put the other, like the base game bottles on the other wall, just because it looks cool. I don't know, I just thought it looked nice. But now moving on to the upstairs, and this is where the fireplace does stay. Like I said, this is kind of like a little seating area for your Sims to wait if your Sims friends go to the toilet or whatever. And I was actually having a problem with the fireplace. For some reason, the flowers which came with Get Famous, they had a weird shadow over them when I put them on the fireplace, but no other flowers would have that. I don't know if that's like a normal thing for this fireplace. It shouldn't really be, but I don't know. But now I just put some little tables on the upstairs as well. I thought maybe if your Sim comes here on a date, it'll be really nice to maybe just walk upstairs and get away from the rest of the nightclub and just sit down and have like a nice little conversation with your date. I don't know. And it also overlooks, it's kind of like a balcony, so it overlooks the bottom, like, so the nightclub. And so there's a nightclub at the bottom, and then if you look up, it's a skylight. So it's actually a really nice little romantic place for your Sims to come if they do come here on a date. But then I'm just cluttering up this little marble table from Vintage Glamour, I think. I don't actually know why I chose the marble table for this build, but I actually think it works. I think it works quite well. But anyway, now I'm just moving on and doing the study area, and nothing too special in here. I just put a computer and a bookcase and just some bits and bob, just so it looks a little bit more like an office. But that is it, guys. That is it for this video, and as always, I hope you did enjoy watching me build or renovate the Blue Velvet nightclub, and make sure to check out everyone else's channels and their videos and their renovations of the Blue Velvet nightclub. And as always, if you do like my content, then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next speed building video. Bye guys.